Hey everybody, it's Noah with the Zone Podcast back at it again. Today I'm with Angel from Blueth. Just go ahead, let everybody know, kind of introduce yourself.
I'm Angel. I've been in this business for 8-9 years, and I do roofing, I do concrete, and I've been around, man.
The reason why we're both out of breath is because we just got done doing some push-ups. Just want to get all the jitters out, go ahead and do everything. But okay, whew. So tell us a little about your story. Like, how'd you get into construction, roofing, everything like that?
So I used to do insurance. I was an insurance agent. Then I opened like a small office, and I was selling insurance, and that's how I started getting into the claims thingy. You know, people came over and they had an accident with their vehicle, and they asked me, and then I noticed how the shops will pay for the damage, and then I started selling homeowners insurance, and then I saw that too. Then I have a friend that he was looking for insurance to his roofing business, and that's how I noticed roofing. I became an adjuster also, and that was funny because I got a license to be an adjuster with the state of Texas. But after I got my license, I tried to apply different companies, and nobody hired me.
Wait, what?
I applied to the big ones like Pilot, and nobody hired me. So from that, I had the knowledge that an adjuster had, but then I used it to do roofing, and that helped me a lot.
So a lot of business owners that I interview usually they have to have like a competitive edge. So do you think your competitive edge and like what differentiated you in the market was coming from that adjuster background instead of just going straight into roofing?
Well, I think the advantage that I had is that way previous to that, I was a salesperson selling cars for like 10 years. So that gave me a lot of experience on talking to people, communicating. And then I add the knowledge that I got whenever I got my license, and that was boom.
Wow. Well, you look. Wait, what? You look so young and like going crazy. I wouldn't expect that you had 10 years in selling cars. So what was like selling cars? I haven't really interviewed anybody who sold cars before. What were like the big struggles with like selling cars, and how'd you overcome them?
Well, selling cars, it was. The cool thing about it is that I was meeting people, pretty much every day. I met 3 new people, and different. There was people that was mad and everything, so I adjusted to how to talk to people, especially because I'm not Native American. I'm from South America, so the big change when you learn the language also and all that. So it helped me a lot. But the car business is a way different story too. But you as a salesperson, whatever knowledge you get there, the experience that you get, you can transfer it to the roofing business, especially because selling roof, you gotta knock doors, and that's the hardest type of sales that you can try to do. People is eating, sleeping, or doing whatever they're doing, and you come up and then hey, how you doing? And they're like, you need a roof? And it's different. It's hardcore sales. But you gotta go with it.
Yeah, so like I was in door to door as well, and that's really I think what made my career, because it's like door to door you have to constantly always have failure in order to have those successes. So you have to earn everything that you get. Where do you think that kind of like internal fire came from you? Like when you were, do you think it's because you moved to America and you had to do it? There was no other way? Or do you think you've just always wanted to be in that entrepreneur or not really work for anybody else type of deal?
Since I was young, I started working since I was 12 years old. I started working with my dad, so I had the mentality of always working. And since I worked with my dad, I didn't work for a company. I worked for my family, basically. So I always, every money that we got, it was for us. So me working for somebody else always was different. I didn't. That's why I didn't last that long. Like the longest job that I had was like for a year. But after that, all the jobs that I had was more related, like me being kind of like the right hand of the owner of the company. So like whenever I was selling cars, I worked for small dealerships, so I was the salesperson, I was the finance guy, I was doing everything
Little bit of
behind the
everything.
scenes, yeah, and pretty much what the owner has to do. I have the numbers, I had everything, so I knew the business inside out, um, and that's I guess that's why I have that mentality of, me doing it myself. Yeah.
That kind of leads into my next question of, I talked to you a little bit before we got on here. One of the questions I'm starting to ask everybody is, how do you delegate? How do you build a strong team around you? How did you build that strong team?
It's That's one of the hardest part, because everybody's different. But I have something that it might be good, and it might be bad. But a lot of people, like my wife tells me that I shouldn't be like that. But I'm the type of people that I trust people like right away, even though they can do wrong to us. I trust some people. And me being like that, I have met some incredible people that, they can. I know they will have my back, and that's how I do it. I probably know. So I had like three different persons, and one of them might be the right person, and I keep them, and then the rest just go. But in the delegating side, it's hard. It's hard to give everybody. But what we do is just we try to be honest, try to do everything on point, and they had to see me working. They had to see me, you know, uh, they. What I try to make them understand is that everything that you're doing, you're not doing it for my company. You're doing it for you, because we work for our pay. This money that we're gonna get, part of it is gonna be for you and for your family, and the same thing for me. So if you work, I work, and everybody works, and everybody gets money out of it.
You said something interesting about like pretty much just trusting people when they first came out the gate. So you give everyone the benefit of the doubt, but do you think more of those like bad apples kind of weed themselves out, or if you had to be like, this guy's still not a great person to be around, I have to fire like now? Like, how did you like? Is that usually how it works? Is they just weed themselves out?
I well, I trust people right away. So I have that thing. They feel that I'm very open, I'm very friendly. Like, they see me, and most of the people tend to see that I'm too nice to, and either. So sometimes they try to get advantage, but at the same time they notice that, the way I act is like, I'm the owner, and if something goes wrong, I mean, you gotta be responsible for it. So, and the good thing being like that is that they usually leave. I don't have to tell them, hey, things are not working out. They notice that they're doing something wrong, or they're going behind our backs, or they're not just being lazy or whatever, and they feel that they don't belong there, and they just, hey, Angel, I might not come back tomorrow, or they just leave. But I try to tend to don't go to that far to tell them, hey, you gotta get out of here, or we gotta stop working together, because that's the hardest part. But I haven't had that type of problems, I guess. Yeah.
So it seems like pretty much they weed themselves out. Yes. And then, so it is kind of like the bad apples, they weed themselves out, and you don't really have to worry about kind of like a virus in your company, like somebody who's staying in there is just having negative energy all around you guys. That's another thing I wanted to ask. Do you guys have sales guys going door to door, and you have two teams, the labor side versus the sales side, or are you more moving towards like ads and stuff?
So when we started, I started as being the salesperson, and the other people that was working with me, the salespeople, we try to all make them be part of the roofing area too. Like whenever we're doing a roof, I like the salespeople to go up there into the roof, see what they're doing. I explain everything. We put this nail for this reason. We cover this part for this reason, and this is what you're selling. Because as based on my experiences, whenever you sell something, and it's not like you tell them, hey, no, this is buy this because this is a good price. No, it's just you got to give them as much information, all the knowledge that you have about that, and let them decide if they go with you or not. And that's what we do. Whenever my salespeople, they can tell the customer, hey, I actually been there. I know what I'm selling. This is the product, and I know we're doing right. And I guess that's what helps. And
Do you make your salespeople get on the roof and actually like are you saying they get on the roof and train, or do you saying they get on the roof and they work?
well, not work, train, more train.
Okay. Because I was gonna say, I mean, I thought you were meaning like when somebody first starts as a salesperson, which would be kind of cool, is that they have to be an installer for a week first. Do you?
Well, three guys that work with me, they were installing first, and then they have the advantage that they were fluent in English, and they decided that they can sell too. So we were doing that. And other thing that we do also is the salesperson. Whenever we're doing, let's say the salesperson brings a business, he will manage the project also. He will be like the project manager on that day, so he can deliver what he promised to the customer.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Nice. That's actually an awesome business model to go ahead and like have somebody who's there, because most sales guys, they'll just sell and then they're on to the next house. They don't really like watch the actual full project get built. Kind of to switch gears a little bit, what's been your most crazy customer that you've had?
Wow. People not paying.
Yeah.
Okay. I had this customer it was actually here in Dallas. It was on the COVID time, and you know, and I did this. So we did his roof, and we sent the certificate of completion to the insurance, but a public adjuster was involved, so we waited for his signature. So we meet up at the bank, the customer, the public adjuster, and me, and he signed. You know, he went inside to cash the check, and the public adjuster told him, this money is for Angel and this part is mine. And he gave him his part, and he was like, I'm gonna talk to Angel. For some reason he didn't wanna, you know, he started acting all weird. Okay, and then he was like, hey, Angel, come over here to my truck, let's have a conversation. I went into his truck, and he's like, he gave me half of it. I'm like, you know, you're supposed to pay me everything. He's like, no man, because he started making scene that I told him that he didn't have to pay his deductible. So we got into an argument, and I told him, he gave me half of it, and I kept the half, and I told him, you know what, that's fine. I'm just gonna call the insurance and deal with them. And he just leaned down, he pulled his gun, and then he's like, leave my fucking money here, because it's not gonna blow your brains out. I was like, I dropped the money. I was like, okay, I'm sorry. Just, you know, don't mess with it. I opened the door and I left, and I keep holding my hands up, and then he just backed up and he left. And the sad part was that it was COVID time, and when I called the police, they told me we cannot send any officer there because, you know, it's COVID time. So I have to do a statement and blah blah blah. But that's one of the craziest things that happened to me so far.
So he was literally like, I'm not paying.
Yeah.
Jeez. Oh my gosh. What about a, cause you started out in door to door. What about like a door to door story of somebody answering the door? Cause I've seen people who've like me personally, I've had guns pulled on me. And then also like I've interviewed people where they're knocking on the door. They don't hear anything. They look to the left and they see a shotgun barrel right to their face. Have you had anything nuts like that happening when you're knocking?
No. I mean, I think we had one time I was knocking the door, and it was a big old possum laying down there that tried to beat me one time. But somebody pulling a gun, like knocking the doors, not yet. Not yet.
Dang, I'm hoping not. Kind of shift gears again. How do you utilize like AI or like automations or any type of tech in your business?
For the measurement part, we use Roofer. For advertising, for communication, we're using Open Phone. It's something we calls. But AI, I'm looking into improve there, but since it's new, I don't know what route to go, because having our phone number exposed, like I get so many phone calls from different companies, different people telling us, you know, I sell this, I do this, and for this much amount, and I'm still looking for that person that can help me on that side. Someone that can, tell me, hey, let's go this route, like a really, really good person that had experience with that. But so far, I'm just trying to use what I used before, and it's working so far.
How do you think like AI and new technologies will kind of disrupt the roofing market?
It's gonna kill the door to door for sure, which I think is, I mean, we're getting ready for it. I mean, the less contact people after COVID, it was less contact between, I guess, human beings. So it's gonna kill for sure the door to door. But yes, it's changing a lot. I guess I saw some videos, with you have this person talking there, and it's an actual, it's not a real person, and explaining a roof thingy, and it's actually cheaper than hire somebody else to do a video for you. So it's gonna change a lot. The industry is gonna change with that.
Do you think? Well, I mean, do you think that having that AI, because most of us don't really like to talk to bots when it comes to like on the phone and stuff. Do you think it'll make human interaction more like necessary, or you're kind of saying that it'll kind of kill that human interaction and it'll be less human interaction, right?
Yes, and I noticed that like before my customers became like closer to my friends, because we text, sometimes, hey Angel, I have this neighbor that is doing this, but now it's just different. They email, there's no more phone calls. Sometimes before if they need to make a payment, they will call me, hey Angel, let's get together and make a payment. Now everybody's Zelle, or everybody they can make the payments through their website. So yeah, it's less contact. That's what I'm looking.
So final question is like, what would you suggest for like a young person watching, if they're trying to get into business? Where would you tell them to start?
Work super hard. I believe in motion creates motion. It's something that it's crazy. Even though just going out with no destiny, it takes you somewhere, because you're moving. So on roofing, you can make a lot of money quick, if there's a storm, you can make a lot of money quick. But it's a hard business. Like for example, we attended Hurricane Ida like 2 years ago, and wow, I was working from 5:30 a.m. all the way to 12:30 midnight, because it was so much work, and you just got to be ready for it. But there's starting young too. I mean, it's gonna help you. But I guess the best thing is getting knowledge, like getting knowledge from everything that is involved. Don't only install roof, like learn how to deal with the insurance, because who the customer is not paying you most of the time, is the insurance paying for it. So you gotta learn how to deal with them, how the whole insurance works too, because there's the claims, have deductibles, how you have to understand how to read that, and a lot of different things that you can get that knowledge on the internet, and just don't go out there and just not, because a lot of people, I've seen people just, especially here in Texas, because you don't require a license to be a roofer here, against other states, and anybody just put a ladder in their truck, and they just start knocking doors and say, hey, I have 20 years experience. And as a customer, you, there's no way you can check it. They can show you a video of something, and they probably help on one roof, and they'll say that, and there's nothing you can do, because that's Texas rules. But if you have other knowledge, you can show to the customer, what you can bring extra, and I guess that will make you more successful.
So basically, learn your product, and then be truthful with people when you go and talk to them.
Oh, I mean, that's always in life too. Yeah, you gotta be honest, and there's a lot of people that I see like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, don't oversay things that you won't be able to to come up with later on. Don't promise more than you can do.
Motion creates motion, right?
Motion, yes sir. Yes sir.
Well, on that one, I'm gonna go ahead and end it off. I'm gonna have everything, all of Angel's stuff, in the description below. Check out his YouTube channel. Also check out the website and everything like that. So
thank you guys. Thank you so much. And if you guys need roof or concrete, give us a call.
Cool. I'll catch y'all.